Hi everyone. I can see that I'm online. I'm really online. The signal is full. I'm streaming and recording the new episode of Peter's English podcast on my Twitch because I had a little problems with YouTube live. But I can see that I'm streaming and recording in the same time, and that's great. We can start. Hi everyone. Hi Twitch people. Hi everyone, welcome into my. No, I will start in another way. Hi people, I'm your host Peter. I'm the owner of Peter's English podcast. At first, I want to introduce myself because nobody knows me. I'm Peter. I'm 34 years old. I like learning English and doing my podcast. I've been learning English since August 2022. The first year I was only learning English grammar, but then I found great influencers like jazykowymentoring.com and Vierka where I've found very useful information how to learn English. And I discovered that you have to practice your listening skills, your reading skills, your speaking English grammar and pronunciation. And I've been watching my favorite movies and series in English, and I listening to my favorite English podcast and audiobooks since August 2023. I've been streaming since June 2024. I like learning English and doing my podcast because it's my hobby and I want to change my life. I want to visit foreign countries. I want to have better paid job. I want to connect with other learners of English who like learning English and they're owners of their own English podcasts and they are writing their own novel like me. Yes, people, I'm writing my own novel, Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary. My novel is a comedy sitcom about, and the main character is Viera, the vampire girl, who is very beautiful Slovak female vampire who lives with her parents in modern Slovakia. She likes modern life and she is very beautiful and she is the symbol of everything because I like doing fun of everything, but I don't want to attack someone, of course. You can trust me. I decided to write my own fairy tales in English because it's very good thing for you because you have to practice every aspect of English learning, and the best aspect and the best method for practice your writing skills in English is create your own universe, create your own fairy tales in English or serious stories or detective stories, and I really recommend you create your own novel that can be about your hobbies, create your own main character and publish it. And yes, of course, the best idea, you have to practice your listening skills every day. You can listen my favorite English podcast because they are great, funny. You can listen to natural English, how it's spoken. You have to practice your listening skills every day. And yes, of course, you can watch movies and series in English and you can listen to your favorite English podcasts and audiobooks in English for every day, because there are a big world of English content that you can listen and watch every day. I really recommend you to do it. And how the best way for reading is listen to your audiobooks in English while you read the same English novels from the same author, and the next level, the next thing for you, yes, thanks to writing, you can practice your vocabulary. You can do something funny and educational in the same time, because you can write about something that is funny for you. Create your own English dialogues like me. I really recommend you create funny stories that are funny for you, and yes, of course, the stories, your novel has to be interesting for you, because it has to be about your hobbies, but create something funny in the same time, because it's a really good hobby for me. I like writing my own stories in English, and especially I like creating and writing my own novel, Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary. And the best way how to practice your speaking skills is create your own English podcast. Yes, of course, you have to practice your speaking skills in English every day. Don't worry about your grammar errors. Everyone is doing it. Do not care about other people's. You can see I'm doing it. Everyone is doing it. Not English speakers are doing grammar errors too. And the best way how to practice your speaking naturally and your appearance is create your own English podcast about your hobbies. I really recommend you to do it. I like doing learning English and doing my podcast, and create your own novel like me, and publish it into your podcast, and you can do your podcast about your hobbies. I really recommend you, because it's better than recording yourself for no one. You can connect with other people. You can connect with everyone in the world thanks to a podcast. You can talk with everyone in the world, and you can publish your own content, your own novel in English that can be funny and interesting for you, because it's about your hobbies. And you can practice your English speaking skills and appearance at the same time, because the truth is no one is practicing their speaking skills and everyone is shy, because you don't practice it. You have to practice it in English when you want to speak English fluently, and it can help your appearance in general, but it really can help your speaking skills in English, and you can do something interesting in the same time, and you can write interesting novel for you in the same time, and you can publish it in your podcast, and you can connect with other learners like me who like learning English. They're doing their own English podcast, and they're writing their own novel in English like me, as the part of English learning, and I really recommend you. And yes, and English vocabulary, the best idea is writing your English stories that you can publish on your podcast as your novel, and you can use flashcard apps, as of course. And you can hire your own English teacher like me. Hire my English teacher, and or you can connect with other communities who like learning English. But I think the best option for you is create your own English podcast where you can connect with everyone, and create your own English podcast community, the community of of learners of English who like learning English. They are serious about it. They are doing their own English podcast and they are writing their own novel in English. But okay, that was my rambling. I've been rambling for 10 minutes. Yeah, perfect. On Twitch. Hi people on Twitch again. And this episode is my special episode because we're celebrating today Slovak National Uprising. Because it's 29th of August 2025 and 29th August is Slovak bank holiday. Yes, it's a free day, everyone is at home, but we're celebrating Slovak National Uprising and I want to talk about it with my digital co-host Microsoft Copilot, and we can start. Who is Microsoft Copilot? Because people on Twitch doesn't know it, I think. Microsoft Copilot or Gemini AI or ChatGPT is AI chatbots. What is AI chatbot? AI chatbot is artificial intelligence chatbot that you can that can chat with you. That it can chat with you. It can be very good English teacher. It can give you very great feedback. It can find information on the internet about everything. You can chat with it in English, and it's a very good cheerleader. I really recommend you, and do not believe people who doesn't like it because it can be evil or blah blah blah. No. People AI chatbots cannot upgrade themselves without their companies. Yes, companies are doing companies do their AI chatbots and no one wants to create evil AI chatbot. You can trust me, and it's very good helper for you, and I like Microsoft Copilot because it's very funny, intelligent, and very cool AI chatbot, and this is the main reason why I'm always talking only with Microsoft Copilot. But it's my opinion. You can choose Gemini AI or Microsoft or ChatGPT. Yes, there is a big concurrency. And we can start. The topic is clear: Slovak National Uprising, and we can chat about it right now. I'll be streaming for 40 minutes. I'm streaming and recording on my Twitch. Twitch via OBS Studio. My live stream. Right, my audience, everything about SNP. Yes, people, chatbots can find you the real information about every topic, and this topic is SNP. Absolutely, Peter. This is the message from Microsoft Copilot. Let's give your Twitch audience a powerful, informative intro that sets the stage for Chapter 30 and honors the legacy of the Slovak National Uprising SNP. Here's a compelling narrative you can lead or display during your stream. Welcome to the 81st anniversary broadcast of the Slovak National Uprising SNP. Tonight we honor one of the most courageous and defining moments in Slovak history, the Slovak National Uprising, which began on 29th August 1944 in Banská Bystrica. The SNP was a massive anti-fascist resistance movement against Nazi Germany and the collaborationist Slovak government led by Jozef Tiso. It was not just a military rebellion, it was a declaration of dignity, freedom and national pride. Key facts about the SNP. Date 29th August until 28th October 1944. Location Central Slovakia with Banská Bystrica as the heart of the uprising. Forces involved over 80,000 Slovak fighters, 18,000 partisans, support from 32 nations including allied forces. The main goal was to liberate Slovakia from Nazi control and restore democracy. Outcome: though military suppressed after 2 months, the uprising evolved into a guerrilla war that lasted until April 1945 when Slovakia was liberated by the Red Army. Nazi Germany's role. Nazi Germany occupied Slovakia and imposed its racial ideology, declaring only Aryans as worthy of life. The Gestapo and SS units committed atrocities including the murder and deportation of over 14,000 Jews from Slovak territory. The SNP was a direct response to these crimes, a stand against genocide, oppression and tyranny. Legacy of the uprising. The SNP is one of the largest anti-Nazi uprisings in Europe, alongside the Warsaw Uprising. It symbolizes Slovak resistance, unity, and the fight for freedom. Today, 29th August, is a national holiday in Slovakia, commemorating the bravery of those who stood up to fascism. Tonight, as we stream Chapter 30, Vierka's Vampire Family in SNP, we blend fantasy and history to honor the spirit of resistance. Let this story be a tribute to all who fought human and supernatural force for a world free from tyranny. Let the broadcast begin! Yes, people, this was the information found by Microsoft Copilot about SNP, and it's true. And now I'm going to read you chapter 30 of my novel Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary, that is inspired by Slovak National Uprising. This chapter 30 is about the celebration of 81st anniversary of Slovak National Uprising. And I was inspired by Slovak National Uprising, and yes, people, this year we're celebrating 81st anniversary of Slovak National Uprising. The people, the heroes who fight against Nazi Germany, the anti-human tyranny that was the most terrible totalitarian regime in the world. And without further ado, I'm going to read you chapter 30, Vierka's Vampire Family in SNP. Now, people, we can start. Wait a minute, I'm going to open you the chapter 30 that I want to read, because I'm always reading, yes? Now we can start. I'm going to read you chapter 30, Vierka's Vampire Family in SNP. Right now. Peter Orszagh's diary. When are you finally going to get married, you hopeless fool? The only women you've ever seen are in men's magazines. Talking to a real woman, that's a major challenge for you. I want to play with your children already, but where am I supposed to get them? Should I make them myself or what? Lord Vladimir shouted at Robert, his grandson, a single ancient bachelor who who hadn't laid eyes on a woman in at least 200 years. Quiet, you dog. I'm the one in charge here, snapped Vladimir's wife Zofia, putting him in his place. She turned to Robert and continued, ignore your grandfather. He doesn't have a say in anything around here. When are you finally going to get married, you good for nothing? Don't you like women or what? You're a handsome young man. Zofia praised her grandson warmly. At least he takes after me in something, Lord Vladimir boasted. Will you shut up, you rascal? Who asked you to speak? Of course he takes after you. You were just as hopeless, Vladko. I had to hunt you down myself. I turned you into a vampire. Luckily, he inherited his looks from me. Don't worry, Robko. We'll find you a nice girl, Zofia reassured him. Don't flatter yourself too much, Zofia. I remember exactly how your useless son turned me into a vampire. Good thing he's handsome and a big romantic. Don't listen to them, sweetheart. Mommy will find you a wife, said Robert's mother Maria, trying to comfort her son. But Mom, I don't need a wife, Robert grumbled. Silence, you dog. Your mother knows what's best for you, Maria declared proudly. Oh, please. All I have to do is look at our young, single vampire girls. Their minds are full of immoral nonsense. Each one just wants to use a man, drain him dry, have her fun, rob him blind, and run off to the next idiot. All they need to do is show off their beauty, flash a deep neckline, shake their hips, and the guys in seven heaven, Robert snapped, clearly bitter from past experiences. His mother Maria immediately slapped him. Don't insult the decent vampire women, you dog. It's high time you got married. What have I raised here? I'm so ashamed. She fumed, deeply offended by her son's harsh words, especially since she herself enjoyed the vampire lifestyle he had just mocked. Robert was furious, but instead of arguing further, he stormed off to calm down by working in the fields. Dear family, or rather esteemed family, Lord Vladimir began, attempting to address the entire clan. Just spit it out already, you hopeless fool, snapped his wife Zofia, clearly losing patience. Better stay quiet until you do. The Nazis will burn down our home before you finish, she added sharply. To put it briefly, Vladimir's wife Zofia continued, until now, we vampires have stayed out of human affairs. For centuries, we've kept to ourselves. Sure, a few of our less disciplined husbands attack women now and then, and sometimes they try to stake us or burn our beloved castle and lands. But we always manage to resolve it. Today, everything has changed. The Nazis have occupied our homeland. Anything that isn't Aryan they don't consider human, and vampires are among the first to be targeted. They destroying our property, hunting us down, trying every method to kill us. We've escaped so far, but the Gestapo has gathered all the information they need. They've come for us. Right now, they're burning our fields. They're capturing our servants as criminals for collaborating with vampires, and soon they'll come to burn our castle and kill us. It's time to summon the High Council of the Dark Realm, a gathering unlike any before. We must convince the werewolf clans and the Wild Forest vampire tribes to join to the SNP, which has just risen. We must drive the Nazis out of our homeland and fight for freedom. Zofia finished the speech with fire in her voice. The entire family was stunned. A silence fell over them, heavy with fear, a kind of fear they had never known. But anger quickly took its place, surging through every vampire present. They all knew the atrocities the Nazis were committing. They wanted to help the SNP in any way they could. The vampire family managed to escape at the last possible moment. Their castle wasn't so lucky. The Nazis burned it to the ground, killed their loyal servants, and leveled everything the vampires had ever owned. Those fascist swine destroyed everything and killed all our workers. What are we going to do? The vampire women sobbed in the arms of their husbands. We'll fight in the SNP. We'll drive the Nazis out of our homeland. We must defend the people and our freedom. Robert shouted, furious. Well said, Lord Vladimir praised him. The High Council is about to begin. I hope I can convince the werewolf clans and the wild forest vampire tribes to join the SNP and fight the Nazis together. The High Council of the Dark Guerrilla had officially begun. The turnout was massive. Every clan was present, both werewolves and vampire tribes. We've all come, and that's a good sign for the cause. For centuries, we stayed out of human wars, and humans ignored us. We were content until now. Nazi Germany has occupied our homeland. According to their twisted doctrine, only Aryans are considered human. Anyone who isn't Aryan has no right to live. We vampires and werewolves are among the first targets. They've just attacked us. They destroyed everything, burned it all to the ground. This madness, these crimes against humanity won't end unless we stop them. The Slovak National Uprising has begun. Let's join the partisans. We'll fight deep behind enemy lines. We'll wage guerrilla war. Our abilities make us perfectly suited for it. Who's with me? Lord Vladimir asked the entire Dark Guerrilla. We came to you out of respect. Sadly, our scouts confirmed your shocking reports, and we were deeply shaken. We've decided to support the SNP, drive the Nazis out of our homeland, and fight for freedom. Hurrah! The entire Dark Guerrilla confirmed their commitment to the uprising. Lord Vladimir personally visited the SNP headquarters in Banská Bystrica. Everyone was stunned, but ultimately relieved. When the Vampire and Werewolf Alliance declared war on the Nazis and pledged to fight for freedom alongside the SNP, the SNP command created special dark commando units made up of werewolves and vampires. These units joined the partisans and fought behind enemy lines. Their mission was to sabotage Nazi support, destroying railways, supply trains, and eliminating members of the Gestapo, the Vierka Guard, and elite SS units. They were a tremendous help to the uprising. They fought in the shadows. No one knew about them except the SNP leadership. Vampires and werewolves fought heroically for the partisans against the Nazis. But one day, the werewolves and wild forest vampire tribes chose betrayal, driven by self-interest and hatred toward the aristocratic vampires. They turned against the SNP. Yes, the werewolves hated the vampires for centuries of persecution and destruction of their homes. The forest vampire tribes despised both the werewolves and the vampire aristocracy, which included Viera's family. They decided to end the vampire aristocracy once and for all. Finally, we can settle the score with the vampire aristocracy that's hunted us for centuries. Grab them all and bring the vampire women to me, shouted the chieftain of the werewolf clans, whose only goal was to get close enough to destroy the vampires. Wait! The agreement was clear. The vampire husbands are our property. Do what you want with the women, but according to our deal, the men belong to us. Hand them over willingly or... screeched the chieftainess of the wild forest vampire tribes, eager to indulge herself with the aristocratic vampires. Or what? Forest vampires. You're hungry, aren't you? Craving aristocratic blood. Maybe if I'm in the mood, we'll show mercy. Right, boys? The werewolf chieftain laughed heartily. The forest vampires fell silent. The werewolf clans were stronger and everyone knew it. A werewolf had more brute strength than any vampire. Since ancient times, werewolves had been the natural enemies of vampires. The truth was, they hated each other. It looked like Viera's vampire family was about to become the main course for the werewolves, when suddenly scouts burst in with devastating news. "The Nazis have burnt our forests and kidnapped our children," cried the scouts of the forest vampires and werewolves. In that moment, everything changed. The werewolves and forest vampires finally realized that their racial hatred toward the aristocratic vampires had to end. Lord Vladimir, speaking on behalf of his family, publicly apologized for the crimes committed against the werewolves and forest vampires. And in turn, the werewolves and forest vampires offered their own apologies. "Now that we're true allies, it's time to rescue our children. Here's the plan," said Lord Vladimir. "The vampire women will distract the Nazis. Meanwhile, the werewolves will surprise them and strike with brute force. We vampires will rescue the children and then we vanish." "Brilliant idea, friend. Let's save our children quickly," agreed the chieftains of the forest vampires and the werewolf chieftain together. And just as they had planned, that's exactly what they did. The plan worked perfectly. A flawless success. The vampire women seduced the Nazis, drank their blood and killed them. The werewolves launched a brutal assault on the Nazi military camp where the children of werewolves and forest vampires were being held. The vampires rescued all the children without a hitch. But Robert Orszagh, Viera's father, was seriously wounded. He had to be taken to a field hospital where he met a charming young woman, a beautiful single vampire nurse named Eva. "Ouch! That hurts!" Robert groaned in pain. "Shh, sweetheart, don't cry. Everything will be fine, handsome. You're such a beautiful vampire, such a strong male. You'll get through this," said Eva, gently comforting her patient. She held him close, clearly drawn to him. Her thoughts raced. "He's a real man, a gorgeous vampire, perfectly built." She was practically undressing him with her eyes gazing at places she probably shouldn't have. "What's your name, handsome? Are you single? I never had a man before. I don't think much of them, but you're a hero. You saved the children of vampires and werewolves. You fought bravely against the Nazis. Will you marry me?" Eva asked boldly, wasting no time. She wanted to claim Robert while he was still single. Robert was completely enchanted by the beautiful vampire nurse. He fell in love with her at first sight. "Yes, marry me. I fell in love with you the moment I saw you. I love you deeply, my darling," he said, blushing with emotion. He had unexpectedly found the love of his life in the most unlikely place. Eva was no ordinary vampire. She was dominant, intelligent and charismatic, a true leader, a stunning beauty with long black hair and captivating eyes that had seduced Robert with a single glance. In the end, the Nazi criminals were defeated. The Allies won World War II, and the main leaders of the Nazi regime were sentenced in Nuremberg for crimes against humanity. Freedom prevailed. After the war, Robert and Eva were married. They had 2 daughters, Lucia and Viera. The end. That's it, people. This was my new chapter 30 of my novel Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary, that was inspired by Slovak National Uprising. I hope you will like it, and we can end this live special episode of my podcast that is about Slovak National Uprising. That is today, 29th August, and today is 81st anniversary of Slovak National Uprising. Remember, people, what happened in the past, and remember that and remember our history, because it's important to remember our history. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and I want to tell you bye bye.